In this video, I'd like to talk about the math question of the day for Monday, April 10th, 2023. And with this problem, we need to divide and simplify. We have a fraction, 3/8, divided by another fraction, minus 5/6. So to answer a question like this, you do need to have a knowledge of fraction arithmetic, which is usually something taught in grade school. So this is a pre-algebra topic. So at this point, go ahead and pause the video, see if you can work through this on your own. And when you're ready, unpause the video and we can go through this together. Now, assuming that you have attempted the problem, let's go through it together. And if you do have suggestions for future questions of the day, feel free to leave those as comments. Now, I will start by just rewriting this division problem. And the key idea is to rewrite this division problem as a multiplication problem. Since we know that if we, let's say, take the number 4 and divide it by 2, we get 2. But this is the exact same thing as taking the number 4 and multiplying it by the fraction 1/2. We can consider this division by 2 as the same thing as dividing by 2 over 1. So when we change it to a multiplication problem, we flip this fraction over, and now we're multiplying 4 by 1/2, and we can write this over 1. And when we multiply fractions, we just multiply straight across. So we get 4 in the numerator and 2 in the denominator, and this fraction here will simplify to 2. So in both cases, we get the exact same answer. And this concept can be applied more generally. If we have some number divided by another number, we can rewrite it as a multiplication problem, since carrying out multiplication of fractions is a fairly straightforward process. And there are many ways to remember this, but you can remember the expression keep, change, flip. This is one way to remember the process. But the general idea is that if we have, let's say, some fraction, a over b, and we're dividing it by another fraction, let me rewrite that, another fraction, c over d, that we can rewrite this by keeping the first fraction, a over b, changing this from division to multiplication, and then flipping the second fraction. And then at that point, we just multiply straight across. We get AD in the numerator and BC in that denominator. And of course, we saw this with a very specific example. So with our problem here, we can rewrite this as a multiplication problem. So we keep the first fraction, which is just 3/8. We change the division to multiplication, and then we flip the second fraction. And the negative can just stay out in front. And at this point, we just multiply straight across. So let me make a little bit of room so we can finish that. We have 3 multiplied by -6, which would be minus 18. And we have 8 times 5, which is 40. And we can notice that the numerator and denominator are both divisible by 2. So we can divide top and bottom by 2 to get minus 9 over 20. So this right here should be our final answer. Though, if we do want a way to check this, we think this is equal to minus 9/20, we can just use a calculator. But when using a calculator to divide fractions, we do need to be a little bit careful. And if you have a calculator where you can put in parentheses, you can put the first fraction in parentheses, then hit the division button, and put the second fraction in parentheses. This will help keep the order of our operations in the right order. So I leave that as an exercise for the viewer, but this minus 9 over 20 should be our final answer.